Hi, welcome to Tech Talks, the People and Planet podcast. Today, I'm joined by Bodo Hoenen, the co-founder and chief innovation officer at edtech startup Nolej. Bodo, hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for this call.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really interested to learn more about you guys. I know it's been a hectic start to 2024 for you already. We're only not even 2 weeks in, so it'd be really good to learn more about you guys, what's in store this year. But first of all, please share with our listeners then the problem that you guys solve with your company mission.
Right. Okay.
And perhaps what was the inspiration behind that as well?
Yeah, sure. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and so are the other co-founders of the team. 10 years ago, I developed a learning management system that I sold to Google. And it was through that process, I was really frustrated at the lack of focus on the learner's needs as opposed to the institutional needs. There are about 17 different institutions or intermediaries that sit between a learner and their learning goal. So these would be credentialing authorities, policy officers, government bodies, school boards, all of these different institutions and intermediaries that lie between a learner and this learning goal. And I got really frustrated because a lot of the features and tools we were developing were for these intermediaries as opposed to helping the learner get to their learning goal. And so for the last 10 years, I've been running experiments trying to think of, well, what is a first principles type of approach to helping a learner get to the learning goal? And this work was initially started off running a number of experiments in non-traditional learning spaces or in spaces where there are no traditional intermediaries or systems. So think of refugee camps. The slums of East Africa is mainly where I worked, as well as maker spaces and non-traditional learning spaces in India. And then over the course of several years, eventually moving to more traditional learning environments like schools, both here in the US and in Japan, in Tokyo in particular. A lot of work went into trying to think of, okay, what is the infrastructure we can build to support the learner and their educators to help them get to their learning goals. And it was through that research, that's where the impetus came to start Nolej, and what we're building is we are thinking of building infrastructure that can support the future of learning, where we really focus on what are the needs of the educator and their learner.
Really interesting. Okay, great. So unwrap that a little bit more for itself in terms of the actual product itself. How do you go about that? How does it work? And in particular, I know that there's artificial intelligence in there, machine learning. Where does that fit in as well?
So we want to build infrastructure that supports the future of learning. And one of the key challenges is that we no longer know what learners need to learn for the future. We don't know what jobs are going to be available. We don't know what problems they're going to need to solve. And yet the infrastructure that we have available today requires us to build courses and programs that takes us several months, if not several years, to design and build. So what would happen if we could instead build those curricula and courses and programs in real time, as opposed to relying on us needing to spend several months, if not years, developing these courses? That's really what we're building. It comes into two components, or two technology components. The first one is launched now. So it's been launched for a couple of months. It's called Nolej AI. And this is the component that builds the building blocks of which we then use to develop curriculum in real time. So let me give you a concrete example. At the moment, when you are building a course or program, a lot of educators are forced to provide the learners static information, static videos, static textbooks, static worksheets. These are the types of documents and resources that are generally provided to students. The alternative is to provide them interactive content that really taps into their intrinsic motivation, it really taps into their engagement, but it takes a lot of time and money to produce that type of content. So Nolej AI, which is our first tool, allows anyone to upload any source material. This could be video, could be audio, could be audio from podcast, could be a website, could be a PDF document, PowerPoint presentation, a chapter of a textbook. And we will auto convert that or transform that into bite-sized educational content that is plug and play ready for any learning environment. So that is part one of what we're building. Part two is, now that we have this tool that is able to build these bite-sized educational components, what do we do with them? Now, traditional education stacks them together into these linear courses, but that's not really what we want to do. Instead, what we do is we map them out to a multidimensional latent space. So you can think of it as like a Google Maps for learning, where we map every concept that can be learned onto a map. And now you can query that map. You can say, hey, I want to learn X or Y or Z, and we can generate for you a personalized map of ignorance. Here are all the concepts that lie between what you know today and your learning goal, whatever that learning goal is. And that's the second component of what we're building.
Wow. That's very cool. And who's the target audience to this then? Are you selling this to schools and higher education, or could this be anyone who wants to, you know?
So Nolej AI, Nolej AI, the first tool, is being sold to primarily schools, institutions, curriculum designers. We have it's a really awesome tool. You're able to auto generate bite-sized educational content 100 times quicker than what it would have taken you previously. So there's a lot of instructional designers, publishers, schools, school systems that are utilizing this. One of the key interesting use cases are, we have educators that are recording their class, their lesson, with their phone, and then 5 minutes before the end of class, they upload it to Nolej AI. Nolej AI processes it, and then before the kids leave the classroom, the teacher provides them a link to this full class, this full course, which includes an interactive video, the transcripts, quiz questions, flashcards to help them study, glossaries, definitions of all the key ideas that are being mentioned, as well as a summary. All of these different components are being generated for them. So that's just one example of a use case.
Yeah, really interesting. And what age group in particular then? Is it any or?
Yeah, at the moment, Nolej AI works across different age groups. It's designed, at the moment, it's designed to take the level of the document that you upload as the level in which it would generate content for. So, for example, if you uploaded a textbook that is written at an 8th grade level, it will produce content that is at 8th grade level. So that's how it works currently. In version 2, which is being launched very soon, you'll be able to identify what type of output you want. So you may upload a PhD level document, but you want to produce content that is relevant to 8th graders, or maybe you want it relevant to other levels. That's going to be possible soon.
Interesting. You know, and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, my wife's a teacher. And, you know, she comes home every night, and she, you know, we're on the dinner table, and she's always telling me about the kids that switch off because the education isn't really tailored to what they're actually interested in, and these sorts of things. So I'm listening to it with interest and thinking, you know, where could this apply here in the UK as well? And are you focused? I know you have, you know, a team in France. You're based in the US, but you're a worldwide team, and this is like a worldwide product, I guess, is it?
That's right. Yeah. We're a worldwide team. We're mainly based in France and the US, but we have team members from all around the world. And the product is designed to be a product that is utilized all over the world. However, our primary markets at the moment are the US and Europe.
Yeah, sure. And you're still early stage, like many of our other guests that come on this show. You know, like with any early stage startup or any startup in general, it's fraught with challenges. Please share with our listeners some of the challenges that you've had to overcome to get to where you are now.
I think one of the primary challenges is that the majority of the types of problems we can solve at the moment are not. We need to choose which problem we solve at the start. Right? We have this really big vision of providing democratized education to anyone on the planet, but we need to start small. So
Yeah.
what is it that we can build now and sell now and provide value now that will be is a stepping stone towards the bigger vision, but allows us to pay the bills and hire really good talent and create a product that is useful today. And so we have that now. It's a stepping stone towards a much bigger, larger vision, but that takes a bit of time to figure out.
Okay, interesting. And when we were speaking before the show started, you said it's already been a whirlwind 2024. Share anything that's exciting with our listeners. What comes next? I understand there's a new product about to be launched as well.
Yeah, so exciting year. So we are an early stage startup. So even though there's 10 years worth of research coming into this, we actually only started the company very not so long ago. But we've just closed our seed funding round, which is really exciting. So we've closed the seed funding round. We have some really good partners on board. We just sold a really big contract to one of the regions in France. We are hitting the ground running. We have 58,000 educators using us currently already. We have over $1 million in contracts signed. We have top schools in Europe that are utilizing us. So it's really exciting. We do have a new product, or at least we have version 2 of Nolej AI being launched very soon. And that will include the ability to, for example, choose which level you want, more interactives being generated. So at the moment, Nolej AI generates about 12 different interactives, but this list is going to grow quite quickly to a lot of different types of interactives. So it gives a lot more features to educators to use.
Really interesting, and it's going to be great to learn more about what 2024 holds for you guys as you start getting your priority team in place and the products get launched and you really start to kick on. Bodo Hoenen, thank you so much for joining us. It's all we've got time for, but it's been an absolute pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.